Hi everybody, Dr. Biology here, and this is Revised with Dr. B. This is week 3, and I'm going to go through organisation part 2. So this includes all of these topics from organisation part 2. So just remember how this works. I'm going to go through the main points of a topic. I'm not going to go through everything, just some of the important bits. You'll be given signposts, further resources, particularly detailed videos and past paper exam questions. And I'm doing weekly videos up until your exams. Also on this video, I'm going to have an exam pack of questions for you. So first of all, the heart. So you will need to be able to label the heart. If you're doing higher tier, you definitely will need to label all the arteries and the veins. Remember, the heart valves, they allow the one-way flow of blood, so to stop the backflow of blood. You don't need to know the names of the valves. The left side pumps oxygenated blood around the body through the aorta, and deoxygenated blood comes back through the vena cava into the right atrium, right ventricle, and then up into the pulmonary artery towards the lungs. We have a double circulatory system. Okay, so that means that blood goes twice through the heart for one complete circulation. So as you can see from the aorta, the oxygenated blood goes to the blood tissues and organs and cells, and releases oxygen, and picks up carbon dioxide, and then it travels through the vena cava to the right side of the heart, and then it goes to the lungs to pick up oxygen. You will need to know about double circulatory systems, and definitely will need to know about the circulation of blood through the heart. Okay, so blood vessels, they like to ask you the differences or similarities between them. So the key things, for example, arteries have a thick elastic wall, whereas a vein has a thin wall. Arteries have a small lumen, which is the hole, and veins have a large lumen. Veins also contain valves. Capillaries are the site of exchange, so that's where the oxygen is able to come out of the blood into the cells, to diffuse into the cells and take any waste products back. They are microscopic. Okay, so here's some functions of the artery, vein and capillaries. What I would do is I would pause this, and either you can write some notes about it, or maybe you could do some Q&A, so make a question and answer to test yourself. Next is the components of the blood. There are 4 components of the blood. Plasma transports carbon dioxide, digested food molecules, urea, which is a waste, and hormones. It also distributes heat around the body. Red blood cells, they transport oxygen, and they transport oxygen in hemoglobin. If you're doing higher tier, I would probably look up about oxyhemoglobin and how oxygen goes into the blood, into the red blood cells and out again. White blood cells, they ingest pathogens, and they also produce antibodies. Platelets involved in blood clotting. So CHD is coronary heart disease, so you'll need to know about what happens to the narrowing of the coronary arteries related to fatty deposits or fatty material buildup. This reduces the flow of blood through the coronary arteries, resulting in a lack of oxygen for the heart muscle. It will also increase your blood pressure and could lead to what we call an aneurysm, where your artery could burst. You'll need to know treatments of coronary heart disease. The first one is a stent. So it's a small metal mesh tube. It's used to keep blood vessels open, and it allows blood to flow freely. It treats cardiovascular disease when a blood vessel has become narrowed or blocked. So you can see the balloon is inflated, and then the catheter, which is a tube, is removed, leaving the stent. Now, key things about this is that it increases blood flow, it increases the amount of oxygen and glucose getting to the cells, therefore respiration can occur and you can release energy. Valves, they love you to compare valves. Now, they will give you some questions, and I'm going to give you some questions at the end of this video about looking at the differences and similarities, or evaluating how useful mechanical and biological valves are. So if they sometimes can become faulty, so a valve may not open as wide as it should. It restricts blood flow, and this means less blood reaches the body and pressure can build up, and also the lungs can swell with fluid. They also don't close properly, so that allows blood to leak back through into the atrium, which is called the backflow of blood into the atria, which is not good because it reduces the flow of blood going around and therefore reducing oxygen. You could have an artificial heart, so they are used basically to keep people alive before they're having a heart, before they find a heart donor and having a heart transplant. They can also be used to allow a patient's heart to rest to help it recover. So the key kind of features of that is you will need time to heal, recover and build up strength. You have to take immunosuppressant drugs for the rest of your life. So this prevents the person's immune system from rejecting the donor heart. And also there's an increased risk of infection, not just of these drugs, but I would say also from surgery. Any form of surgery, you have an increased risk of infection. Health issues. So I haven't really done very much for this because it's going to come up in the exam questions I've got at the end. But this is where they test you. They give you graphs and data. So this information is from the spec. So you can see that they're asking you to translate disease incidence information between graphical and numerical forms, construct and interpret frequency tables and diagrams, bar charts and histograms, etc., etc. So basically graphs and data. You do need to know about causal mechanisms. You do need to know that the health issues are not always caused by one factor. It could be many factors. Okay, so you would need to know about the effect of alcohol on the liver and brain, the effect of smoking on lung disease and lung cancer, the effects of smoking alcohol on unborn babies, and other factors such as the ones that I've listed. And these are from the spec, so these are the ones that they want you to know. Cancer, so we need to talk about cancer. So what is it? It is uncontrolled cell growth and therefore it spreads. Okay, if it's malignant, it will spread to different organs and tissues or neighbouring tissues to form secondary tumours. Okay, these tumours are cancerous. Benign is not cancerous, they don't spread and they're usually contained within a membrane, but because they're quite large they can actually press into blood vessels and nerves or organs and cause problems that way. You will again need to know about risk factors, so the causes of cancer, but also the increased chances of getting cancer. Right, this is a top tip from Dr. B. Learn your plants. Okay, I'm going to tell you that again. Learn your plants, all right, because it is the least favourite topic of students in GCSE biology. Plant tissues and organs. So you're going to need to know the structure of the leaf. You're going to need to know about where the main parts are and what do the main parts do. They also like you to know about transpiration. So that's the movement of water through the xylem up to the leaf. So in the leaf you've got the stomata. We'll talk about the stomata in a minute. And basically water evaporates and therefore is replaced by water molecules, and water moves up by cohesion and is pulled up the xylem through the leaf, and as it does it pulls water in through the stem and the root. They do like you to know what affects the rates of transpiration. So again, I would probably do some flashcards or you could do some questioning, but I would pause this and have a look at this table. They might ask you the differences between the xylem and phloem. So the xylem transports water and minerals. Phloem, it transports organic molecules like sucrose. Xylem is basically the outer cells are not living. They're actually made of something called lignin. It only moves water and minerals up the plant. There's no end between the cells either. It's just a hollow tube. Whereas the phloem has end walls. It has two-way movement. It also has other cells attached to it that actually have mitochondria in them to allow active transport of sucrose. And the cells are living, but they do need support, and they need support in terms of energy and mitochondria. And then finally, stomata. You'll need to know about water potential here related to the movement of water by osmosis. So the way that they open is by the movement of water into the vacuole. That will happen during light, okay, when there is photosynthesis. and they will swell up and they will open. During the night they close, they become shrunken or flaccid because of the movement of water out of the vacuole. Right, okay, so I'm going to show you a series of questions. Okay, so what I suggest you do is you're going to pause, all right, and what you can do is on a piece of paper have a go at these questions, and then the marks are at the end. Okay, so let's have a go at this. Hi guys, I hope you found that useful. Please do subscribe. So week 4, I'm going to do infection and response. Hope you have a good week. Keep on revising and we're going to get there together. So I'll see you soon.